Hello, everyone. Adam Fisher here for Gestalt IT, and joining me today is Venkat Ramakrishnan from Pure Storage. Venkat, would you like to give a brief introduction?
Sure. Good morning, Adam, and great to be here. Thanks for inviting me to the show. I am Venkat Ramakrishnan. I run products and engineering for Portworx team in Pure Storage.
So I had the opportunity to attend the AWS reInvent conference last week, and one of the vendors that I had an opportunity to stop by and talk with was Portworx by Pure Storage. So I was glad to see that you guys were there. What was one of the things that you hoped to really get out of your time at reInvent? And being that this was one of the first really big conferences since the pandemic started, do you feel like it was a good use of your time and valuable for the Pure Storage team?
Yeah, wasn't it good to meet people finally face to face after like a couple of years? I was really enjoying it. It was great to go meet with our peers and industry colleagues. reInvent surprised me. There are a lot more people than I anticipated. There's tremendous customer foot traffic with the booth and a lot of partners to talk to. I would say we got a lot more out of what we had imagined we would get from the reInvent show. Absolutely.
That's great to hear. Yeah, I feel the same way. I definitely kind of had those thoughts of, wait a second, I've been here before. I've done stuff like this. So it was good to kind of work those muscles again.
Yeah.
I did have a chance to speak with the Portworx team at the conference, and maybe my questions and the things that I was looking to get out of were different from some of the other attendees. What would you say were some of the biggest questions and discussions that you had with the people that were coming up and talking to the team there at reInvent?
Yeah, it's obviously Amazon is a great partner. Like anything, Amazon has their own services when it comes to storage with EBS and EFS, and Pure has our own premium block storage products that are flash, as well as now with Portworx we have a scale out product for containers. So customers are trying to delineate what Pure offers that delivers a lot more value to them, apart from the standard offerings from AWS. And as with this spoke to us more, they realized Pure has one of the broadest portfolio of products for cloud. All the way starting from our cloud block store products, right? That is actually delivers a premium block, highly available block for traditional apps, and kind of moving on to our Portworx scale out data management product called PX Enterprise for Kubernetes, like any Kubernetes cluster, particularly for EKS, plus backup, which is to back up any of your Kubernetes clusters under our recently announced Portworx data services. So they were able to see we were offering a broad array of products there, and some of the problems were very real that they were trying to solve that we were addressing. And so it was a great conversation, a lot of great conversations at the show.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And it is interesting because obviously AWS has a ton of services that are out there, and there's a lot of vendors that are out there trying to kind of play in that space as well. So obviously there are things that AWS does really well, but also things that customers are kind of looking for that maybe they can't get out of just those AWS native services. So can you help explain a little bit maybe what Portworx brings to the table that can help customers innovate beyond just the stuff that they can get natively within AWS?
Absolutely, yeah. So at the core of the problem that Portworx solves is per container, or per data services per container, right? That's what, from day one when the company was founded all the way to where we are here, we have made it in such a way that storage can be declarative and can be, can have different kinds of access controls and patterns where the platform admins can set the policies and the developers can operate the storage within those policy constraints. And it's highly API driven and scale out from a perspective of where in a Kubernetes cluster where an application can be deployed on any worker node, Portworx delivers storage services and data management services at that container or pod level, right? It's a slice of that data services are delivered at the container of the pod level. So when customers go and deploy a ton of stateful apps on their Kubernetes clusters, especially on EKS, they need a scale out data management solution. While EBS is a great solution, it's not scale out, and when you do like replication across availability zones, or when you want to do DR across regions for your Kubernetes clusters for high availability, and then if you want to do like EKS upgrades or like blue-green deployments, you need a purpose-built solution from the ground up that works, that is natively integrated with Kubernetes for the platform administrators and users to integrate natively and manage their data natively in Kubernetes. And that is delivered by Portworx. And plus, as people deploy a lot more applications in Kubernetes, again in EKS or OpenShift running on AWS or other Kubernetes distros running on AWS, it is extremely business critical for them to be able to have a business continuity DR solution. So what Portworx Backup does is that it lets you back up a Kubernetes cluster along with app and data and restore it anywhere else. So it's almost like a time machine for Kubernetes. You could just go to any point in time and restore the state of your Kubernetes cluster with the app and the data at that point in time, and then do your rediscovery or restores or test dev and all kinds of workflows. PX Backup enables it. So that's another thing that resonates a lot with our enterprise customers, because there's a lot of compliance and regulatory requirements as people move their workloads into Kubernetes. And PX Backup is one of the solutions that solves all of that for them. Last but not the least, it's our latest and greatest product is Portworx Data Services that kind of democratizes data services running on Kubernetes. It enables you to run database as a service anywhere, as long as you have a Kubernetes cluster, right? So you can point PDS to a Kubernetes cluster, pick from a rich catalog of data services that we have curated, and push a button, and we manage day 1 to day 3 of those data services in the Kubernetes cluster, and through a cloud-hosted control plane as well, so that it eliminates about 90% of the tedious tasks of managing, administering, installing, and patching different kinds of cloud-native databases in Kubernetes, either EKS or on-prem or all that. And the other interesting workflow that we enable for customers, which they have really come to like, is how they can build a hybrid cloud solution with Portworx. You could run your applications in Outpost, and you could build a multi-cloud data fabric with Portworx stretching to an EKS cluster in the cloud, and be able to orchestrate applications and data between your Outpost and the cloud. And that is very powerful. And as you know, Pure is a leader in Flash, so we have huge footprint in the data center. And to marry that with the Outpost plus the Amazon's offerings in the cloud, Portworx becomes the effective hybrid cloud highway for you to kind of orchestrate and repatriate data back and forth between the cloud and the data center. That's a very powerful set of highly integrated product that Pure brings to the table. And some of the customers who are kind of starting off to move to their cloud, but still have a large footprint in the data center on Outpost and on on-premise hardware, they have started leveraging Portworx for those kind of purposes as well. Sorry for the long-winded answer, but I just want to cover some of the key problems that we solve and how it resonated with our customers as we spoke to more of them on the show.
Yeah, that's great. And, that definitely echoes kind of what I heard when I stopped over at the Portworx booth and had a chat with the people that were there. So you also mentioned Outposts and some of the things going on with like EKS Anywhere. There's so many new things that are coming out and new announcements that happened at the reInvent conference. And obviously, there's new ways to build within AWS and to kind of customers be able to innovate and do things. And because of that, there's obviously a large number of players that are out there, in the field, because like we had mentioned before, AWS isn't necessarily providing 100% of what customers need for their storage needs and for modern cloud architecture. So what do you think really makes Portworx stand out from all of the other competitors in the field that we're also trying to kind of stake some claim in this new world that AWS is presenting?
Yeah. Portworx, one of the major differentiators of Portworx is that it is built from the ground up with Kubernetes and application awareness. Right, it's natively integrated to the Kubernetes control plane, and built from the like with topology and application awareness, and can elastically. It's one of or probably the only storage product today or data management product that can elastically scale independently with the application clusters, right? So you could set up a 3-node Portworx cluster in a matter of minutes, and you can scale it to 1,000 nodes in a matter of minutes. And then you can scale it down as your application needs, kind of change, because most modern application needs are bursty, right? That's because there's user demand, there is seasonal change, there's more users getting onboarded for particular promotions that are being run for some of the apps, those bursty needs. And when you move these applications into cloud, especially into Kubernetes, because you're trying to optimize, you're trying to automate, and you're trying to optimize the cost of your infrastructure, and you want to only pay for what your customers are using, right? So, and with those kind of business needs driving how infrastructure is used today, as opposed to statically provisioned, ticketed infrastructure where you go and provision a whole bunch of VMs or instances and wait for the traffic to pick up, that's no longer how business is done, right? So you really, as a pay-as-you-go economy kicks in. When people move workloads into Kubernetes, they want a data management solution that scales up and down with their needs. And one of Portworx's major differentiator is how simple we are to deploy and use. We have taken all the complexity out, and then we have wrapped it properly into our software. And what surfaces to the user is a very simple interface, and it magically scales up and down. Meets the customer needs. We automatically provision the entire cluster for capacity and performance, and we manage data across a large cluster or multiple clusters, to deliver that level of scale and elasticity. And all of this capability, including volume management, security with encryption, data at rest and data in flight, HA, snapshots, cloud backups, and DR, we can deliver it at a microservice level. And that's very powerful. And that's something that our customers really see a lot of value in leveraging us, because we take the anxiety out of running large scale stateful apps in Kubernetes. And especially when we move that into cloud, we're a beast in cloud. Cloud is programmatic. We can program pretty much everything around us. So we can automatically even manage the EBS infrastructure and the inventory for our customers. So they don't have to do the bookkeeping for that. So, and combine that with our autopilot kind of capability, where as the applications use more, generate more data and consume more storage, we can automatically resize the underlying EBS volumes, the Portworx volumes, so the customer doesn't have to intervene. I mean, in a traditional storage kind of an application, maybe there are 10 storage arrays, or 20 storage arrays. In a typical Portworx deployment, there are thousands of Kubernetes nodes. And this is like the cattle versus pet argument, right? I mean, you need tremendous automation to be able to manage such a large cluster, and Portworx delivers that at per microservice level. And that's what our customers like about Portworx, and that's why they buy us. And that's why they support us.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Venkat, for having the conversation with me today. I really enjoyed talking with you and meeting the Portworx team in person finally for the first time in a long time. But thanks again. And as always, be sure to follow the Gestalt IT blog for more information regarding Pure Storage and AWS reInvent. And thank you very much for your time today.